All right, Coach Lance here with CFSJ Inside the Box, the workout for when you can't be inside the box. Again, all of these workouts are designed to be accomplished in an 8-foot by 10-foot space, so whether you're in a hotel or a living room or whatnot. I'm going to go through an equipment list in just a few minutes. You'll be able to see them down in the scroll. Any other questions should be linkable or they will be explained as we go on. So here's the equipment now. Go ahead and pause me. Go ahead and grab it. Let's get it going. All right, now that you've got your equipment together, let's go ahead and get started with some light cardio. If you have access to a treadmill or whatnot, go ahead and use it. We're going to go for about 2 minutes. If not, we're going to do 15 in-place burpees, doing a step back and a step forward, something pretty light. Just like the name implies, don't push the shoulders too hard on the first couple of reps. First 5 are going to be very slow, making sure we alternate legs each time. Continuing on just a little bit faster. And go ahead and give me 9 more. All right, now that you're done with that cardio, we're going to get those hips open with the hip flow sequence. We've got 3 different activation series with this hip flow. Go ahead and take a seat. I like to pretend that I'm about to do a sit-up. It's one of my favorite things in the world. Spreading out just a little bit farther. Now, if you're tight like I am with internal hip rotation, this is going to be a little bit difficult. So you're going to try to keep the left leg up as the right knee bends down for ankle. Now you can see that I'm having to open that hip up right now because those hips are really tight today. And we're going to do 10 each side. As soon as we get done with the right, we'll go on to the left. Good. Reposition, and I'm going to bring the left knee down to the right ankle. Again, I'm going to force or fight the want to open up here. And again, 10 both sides. You can feel them open up already. Next, I'm going to straighten the legs out, let the hips just rest for a second. And now we're going to do both knees at the same time, dropping up and over. So 10 each side or 20 total. Try not to let the hips walk away from you. You'll start to notice that your hands are farther from your back each rep. Go ahead and just keep forcing yourself in or reposition. If you're too far out, you're not going to get a whole lot out of this. I'm at 10. Last 4. All right, going to extend those, let those hips just open up a little bit. And the last, we're going to do a hip extension. So what that's going to look like is I'm going to drop both to the side and push the hips forward. And right back down, up and over. And we're going to do 10 total of these, so 5 and 5. I'm on number 2. I'll allow you to catch up. 3, 4, 5. Last 2. And last 1. And 10. All right. So we'll stand up, shake that out, and get ready for the activation. All right, now that we're back, we're going to start to activate all of our muscles we need for our strength movement today and our workout. We're going to do scapular supermans and bear roll with bridge. Scapular supermans are going to be from that prone position. Each one is going to be its own superman, so hands forward, lifting the quads and the shoulders off. That's the basics of the superman. The head stays down, and then I'm going to pull the shoulder blades back, trying to reach my elbows towards my waist, and then relax. If holding a superman tends to be a little bit difficult for you, don't worry, press the toes into the ground. Don't worry about lifting those legs off. Or if there's a middle ground, like give yourself a little bit of rest in between. I'm gonna do 10, and then I'm going to assume that everyone's with me. If you're not, go ahead and pause it while you finish yours. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Next, we're going to get into the bear roll with bridge hold. So the basics of the bear are going to be, it's not the bear crawl that we do from a down dog position, but the one where the core is active and the knees are hovering off the ground. You're going to roll the opposite foot forward and lift the hips, and then come back down into bear. Ideally, without having to drop the knees. There are going to be 10 of these, and if you do need to drop the knees in between each one, totally fine. You're probably going to go a little slower than I am. I'm going to do these 10, and we'll meet up at the end. So again, knees hover off, big sweep, finish off with the hips pushing to the sky, back down, big sweep. Four, 5, my sweep's getting a little bit weak right now, 6, 7, 8, 9, I'm going to work at making my last rep my best rep. 10. And again, if you're still going, go for it. I'm going to have you put the restaurant on pause. All right, today's strength is upper body and core development. We're going to be working on some bent rows, some weighted push-ups, or slow release push-ups, depending on how much equipment you have, and some overhead sit-ups. We're going to be using a dumbbell for all of these. Again, if you have access to other equipment, please refer back to Sugar Pod. So we're going to start off this 16-minute EMOM, doing each one of these movements on the minute. The first is going to start off with 15 single arm bent rows. It's quite a bit, and we have quite a bit of time to do so The assumption is that our dumbbells aren't going to be so heavy, but the important part is maintaining the hinge like we were doing a deadlift. This is a good back exercise as long as we keep the back static and active. Pulling as far as we can up into the armpit area without twisting, turning, or kipping. So the head doesn't have to move on this. So at the start of the minute, and we'll go with 3, 2, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. And we're going to hold off for about another 30 seconds. Now, if the weight is so light, kind of like it is on mine, I'm demonstrating with a 5-pound dumbbell, maybe I go for 40 seconds straight. So it's more of a burnout on this one, building more muscular endurance, again, without relying on that kipping. In 15 seconds, we're going to go weighted push-ups. Now, this weight is not only cumbersome, hard to keep centered on the body, but it's also really not enough weight. So instead, I'm going to opt for a slow release push-up. So it's like a really slow 3 to 5 second count going down, an explosion on the way up. Should emulate having that weight in. All right, so we're going to start at the top of the plank. I'm going to do 6 of these. 2, 1, 1, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 3, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5, 3, 2, 1, 6. Now, I can normally do a few more push-ups than that, but I don't want to end up crapping myself out as we've got 3 more rounds of this as well. So you'll do 6, ideally, in a solid plank. If you need to go down to the knees, then we're probably not looking at needing to have weight anyway. We've got about 10 more seconds, and we're going to go those single arm bent rows to the other side. All right. Shin straight up and down, core is locked, pulling to the armpit for 15. Again, if you have a lighter kettlebell like I do, you might want to go for a full 45 seconds. And you can do those in the subsequent rounds. I'm at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. And we have about 30 seconds left. We're going to finish off with 8 overhead sit-ups. Now, again, if you have a plate, a kettlebell, something like that, it's going to be slightly different, but the basics is still the same. You're going to end up sitting up with the shoulder blades retracted, weight directly over the head, lowering yourself to have the weight over your chest. And we're going to go in 10 seconds. Let's go ahead and get ready. 7, and 8. Now, if I'm having to drop the weight to here to initiate, then we're probably using just a little too much weight, and go ahead and drop it down. At this point, like always, you can rewind and follow along again, or you can pause. We have 3 more sets on the minute, so 12 more minutes. The instructions will be on the title. See you in a few. All right, with our strength out of the way, we're ready to get to that WOD. Today's WOD is going to be 4 rounds of a 3-minute AMRAP with a 90-second rest. So give yourself plenty of time on this one. You're going to go as hard as you can for 3 minutes, with a 90-second rest, doing that 4 times. The idea with the rest is that we should be able to keep these the repetitions in our AMRAPs fairly consistent. Don't try to game it. Push yourself really hard. You will expect to see some deterioration of reps between the first and the last AMRAP. So we have 3 straight ahead movements, 200-meter run. If you don't have an area in which to run, we're going to do 60 seconds of mountain climbers in place. Quick reminder on the mountain climbers, we're going to stay light on these, starting from a plank, knee touches the elbow, coming back and forth for 60 seconds. So you may have to move your clock or move your phone so that you can actually time yourself for 60 seconds. It would be somewhere around the neighborhood of like 80 or 90 mountain climbers, depending on how many times you have to stop and take a break. Now this is a little more core active than necessarily the run will be, which means that it'll make the next movement a little harder, but again, we don't do CrossFit because it's easy. The next is going to be 12 burpees, either over a bar, a kettlebell, a dumbbell. Now, again, if fear of heights like this is detracting from you, go ahead and just do your burpees, but we're going to go lateral burpees over the implement. So what I'm looking for with the burpee is chest touches thighs touch, spring, jump at the top, but of course our jump is going to be going over the burpee. It's going to look something like this. Now again, with lateral burpees, the requirement of full extension at the top isn't necessarily there. So if I'm really trying to build some speed on this, like light. The 200-meter run and the 12 burpees, we'll consider those a buy-in. After that's done, the remainder of the 3 minutes are to accumulate as many squat cleans as you can. If you have 2 dumbbells, what I'm going to be looking for is the front heads to touch the ground and a full squat at the bottom. You're going to cycle those through as fast as you can. Now, if you're stuck with heavy dumbbells or a single, we're going to almost do it like a med ball. So, popping up, catch it in the goblet, down. And a kettlebell can be done much of the same way. So again, if you have access to other equipment, please refer back to Sugar Watt. But I want you to get your stuff together. We've got about 20 seconds, and I'm going to start this. All right, 10 seconds. Reminder, you're doing 4 3 minutes with a 90-second rest. Go ahead and set your timer now. Going in 3, 2, 1, get it.